Mackay.
Hi pile 1, if you chose this picture, then this is your reading. These three cards will tell us what kind of future it appears you have been creating, as in how it appears to others. The 7 of Leviathans, which is the 7 of Pentacles. This is slow moving earth energy, which shows other people think you have a plan that is going to generate a whole lot of wealth, but at a much later period. Also, this card has a 777, which is a very lucky number. Your next card is the 2 of airships, which is the 2 of swords. So, this future has many tough decisions to be made on the way towards it. It might even appear like a Pyrrhic victory to some, because they cannot understand how you are able to make such huge sacrifices for this future. And the 6 of airships, which is the 6 of swords. It appears to people like you are moving on from a very difficult situation. Maybe you were at a very bad place financially, like straddled in debts, abject poverty. So you worked hard on yourself and invested in gains that may not be immediately apparent, but when they come to fruit, it will be amazing to behold. However, some people, maybe the ones around you currently, think that you are making way too many sacrifices, or that it is impossible and you are having a pipe dream. Either ways, they still think you are going to get yourself to a better place. These three cards will show us what kind of future you think you are creating, as in how you perceive yourself to be a creator. The Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. Yes, you have seen one too many a battle and you are perhaps injured yourself, maybe physically, mentally, emotionally or spiritually, but you are not willing to give up the fight because you know you only need one more wand to achieve that which you set out for. So, in spite of all your injuries, in spite of all the hardships and obstacles in your way, you stand undefeated. The King of Pentacles. Yes, it appears to people that you are creating earthly wealth that will manifest after a long time, and looks like that's your plan. You wish to become a king, not just any king, the King of Pentacles, the King of wealth, abundance and success. This is the kind of guy who is the root of his entire community. He creates generational wealth, something that makes his successors be grateful for him. This is the absolute father archetype, someone who fights but only to protect what is his, who is in his most well aspected creative form. And the Three of Cups, which is just party time. You wish to create wealth and you wish to share it with your community. You know, people might think that you are just planning to leave them and create a better life for yourself, while you are actually fighting to create a future in which you uplift not only yourself but also the place which you came from. In spite of having faced several hardships, you are actually quite generous. These three cards will tell us what you fear about the future that you are creating. The Seven of Pentacles again. Now, people think that it might take a long time for your success to manifest, but you are also secretly afraid that perhaps your long time plans might go awry. In Thought deck, this is called the Lord of Success Unfulfilled. If you have seen the traditional tarot, it will show a guy leaning on his shovel and looking at his plants, worried that they might not give the fruits that he is wishing for. Similarly, you are afraid that you might fall short of what you are trying to achieve. The Daughter of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords in the most ill-aspected form is a spy. You are worried that someone who does not have the best of intentions is keeping an eye on you, perhaps sabotaging your efforts. Or this might be your shadow self, that constant little nagging voice which doubts every step that you take, so much so that you are afraid to take any step and end up in a stalemate. Pile 1, I think the fears that you have for your future are actually a reflection of the fears that other people put within you. Look at this, 7 of Pentacles twice and 2 Swords cards, and which is again in a series 1 and 2, sorry, 11 and 2. And finally, the 4 of Wands, again a fear which corresponds to what people think that you might fail to achieve. The 4 of Wands in its well aspected form points towards a good marriage, an environment that is comforting and supportive towards whatever your goals are. But in its ill aspected form, this is stagnancy. Think of crabs in a bucket. If one crab tries to escape, the others will pull it down. Likewise, people think you will move on, so they might hold you back. Or you are afraid that if you do better your situation, if you do manifest this future that you so desperately wish for, you will lose your family, your community, those who support you. Think of it this way. If your friends, your family, or your community truly believe that they can give the best for you, are you willing to just hand over the decisions that you struggled so hard to make into their hands? You have struggled so hard and so long to create this. Are you going to just throw it away because someone else thinks you can't? These 3 cards will tell us what kind of future you actually wish to create. These are your deepest hopes and dreams. The Devil, which might look like a scary card at the first sight, but it is actually the King of Pentacles. But if he put his focus on wealth and wealth alone, because the Devil is a giving energy, but he gives with strings attached. You wish to create wealth, the kind of wealth that will put you on top of whatever hierarchy you have been groveling under. But remember, wealth is a concept. You need some of it to flourish in this society, but that shouldn't be the only controlling point in your life. Your next card is the Wheel of Fortune. What a beautiful contrast to the Devil. So, while it looks like you are in it to get back at those who bound you once, you are actually the kind of energy that Jupiter gives out. You understand that today you are on top of the wheel, tomorrow you might be at the bottom because you have come from the bottom yourself. So, you remember this and you are striving to create a future that is sustainable, something that keeps on giving, a gift that keeps on giving. And the Ten of Swords reversed. Oh, pile 1. I don't know what kind of situation you are in, but it seems like a very painful one, and you only wish it gets over soon. So, pile 1, it looks like you are creating a future that gets you out of whatever bad situation that you are currently in. It may be spiritual or related to wealth and earthly matters, or perhaps it's just your mind. Either way, you are trying to move on to become the best version of yourself and to share it with your community. So some of them fear that you are working on something that's too long term, something that might never come to fruit, or that you might turn into a heartless, calculative person who kicks off their roots, never to turn back to look at them. But that is not the kind of person you are. And your final advice from the cards is, I couldn't have given you a bigger yes. This is full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. Looks like you are going to achieve that fine balance between being attached to your roots and taking flight into the great beyond. So pile 1, whatever you fear, perhaps of losing your identity in the process of creating this wealthy future, there is nothing to fear about it, because like the Libra, you are going to have it all. Best of luck for this future, pile 1. I wish you a safe and wonderful journey towards whatever it is that you are creating. That's all for your reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 2. If you chose this picture, this is your reading. Let's see what kind of future it appears you have been creating, that is, your future plans in others' point of view. The 10 of Airships. Okay, people think you are going to crash and burn. Maybe you are doing something that is very risky in terms of your social life, intellectual opportunities, that makes other people think you are driving your plane right down into disaster. Or there might be some people around you who do not have the best of your interests in their heart and who are looking to stab you in the back. It might not appear like that to you, but to others, it looks like You are intentionally closing your eyes to what is around you till the last minute. When you are forced to flee the ship with only the things on your back. You know, not everybody who tells you that they are your friend actually has their best interests for you. Envy and jealousy are the worst kind of enemies. And the comet, which is the star card. Look at this, an amazing contrast. The 10 of swords and the star card, the rock bottom and the meteoric rise. So, you appear like a star in the making to some people, like you have great things written in your future. You might be the kind of success story that inspires generations and generations of people in your family, in your community, perhaps even the world. You seem to have this kind of potential in you, so naturally, you might arouse a little bit of jealousy in others. And the two of submersibles, which is the two of cups. This is the charmed life. Not only do you have the wealth, fame and money, but you have true love and happiness written into your life. So this is the kind of future that people think you are creating. What do you think you are creating in terms of future? The Queen of Pentacles. Wow, luxury, abundance and fertility. Look at her. She is Mother Nature. You wish to create the kind of home, the kind of future that is abundant and generous, giving of all people who come in contact with you. And perhaps you enjoy a little bit of the finer things in the life. And the Page of Pentacles. Oh, pile 2. You seem to have a love for knowledge that is unmatched by anybody. The Page of Pentacles is the ultimate student archetype, and she is the student of wealth. Not only that, this reminds me of the Caduceus. Perhaps you are in the field of medicine, or you practice some art of healing. Not only that, you have a Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. So, you wish to create wealth, which is healing to those around you. The Ace of Wands. Brilliance. You are a naturally creative person, pile 2. You carry this spark of creation and invention in you that you so desperately wish to set alight so that you can set the world in flames. You are the kind of inventor and you wish to create something that is a legacy that endures long after your time and only for the goodness and the love that you have for other people. Not very surprising given the star is a card of Aquarius. So, you might be a high-minded person, but beware of those who are around you. Because in top deck, the 10 of Swords is called the Lord of Ruin. This is Sun in Gemini card. You know, Geminis, they tend to be neurotic because they realize that almost everybody has a hidden motive and they might never know if those who are helping them are doing it for a good cause or for their own gain. So, these cards will tell us what you fear about the future you are creating. The 9 of Pentacles. You are afraid that you might never create enough money to actually see independence in your lifetime. The 9 of Pentacles is a wish fulfillment card in terms of earthly matters, in terms of wealth, money, fame. You think you have great ideas and you are a hard worker, but you might never be the queen. You might never achieve the star quality that other people think you actually have, that other people actually see in you. And the 8 of Pentacles, again, you are afraid your hard work is all pointless. Like the spider that is eagerly spinning its web, looking to catch a juicy prey. You are patiently spinning your web, but sometimes you might feel so discouraged that the rewards are not coming, that you might just stop. Or perhaps someone, or maybe your own inner critic keeps saying all of your webs are futile, that you are never going anywhere. And your final fear is, okay, the Three of Wands. You know that you are alight with the spark of creation. You know that given the chance, you can light up the world, but you are afraid that you are not as worldly as you wish to be. You fear expansion, perhaps that you are leaping before you are looking and it's going to end in disaster. The Three of Wands is Mars in Aries or Sun in Aries. This is the young emperor, the Alexander, who is setting out to defeat the Persians in his very first war. Likewise, you are raring to go, but you are afraid that whatever resources, whatever hard work that you put in will not be enough to win the war. Let's see what you hope for in the future. These are your deepest hopes and dreams, something you will never tell to anyone else. The Magician. Again, while other people think you are just naturally lucky, you wish to create your own luck. You wish to command all of it, the cups, the swords, the rods and the pentacles. That is the heart, the mind, the wealth and the spiritual and divine, to create great things, manifesting infinity, something that lasts way beyond your lifetime. And the Seven of Swords. So, while other people might think you are a bit naive, even naive enough to be backstabbed, you wish to conceal the kind of future that you are creating. Though it might be hard to keep the fire concealed because the smoke gives it away. However, you are creating something that you are not actually showing the world, in spite of everyone and their mother thinking that they know everything about you. You know, you might secretly have a vendetta against those who wronged you. Robert Greene calls this kind of people snakes, which I don't think is very bad at all. Like these people who remember those who do right by them and reward them, but also those who do wrong by them, well, they are going to get what is coming their way, because you, pile 2, you are the kind who doesn't get mad, you just get even. People expect you to be this helpless, straightforward Aquarius, someone who announces that they are going to attack like 1,000 miles away, while you are secretly a Libra, the kind that smiles while stabbing them, their enemies, that is. And the Chariot. So, pile 2, someone might have told you at various points of your life, or there might have been several coincidences in your life that showed you this kind of path, because a chariot is divinely guided. This is an arrow released towards a very specific target, and it is not going to stop till it reaches the target. Likewise, you might seem like a match that just fizzles out, while you actually have the guts, the will of steel to follow through with whatever you started. You know, rest your fears that you might never achieve the dreams that you set out to do. You are going to become the Queen of Pentacles because your deepest wishes align with your true purpose. You are in your most decisive form when you decide that you do not care about what other people are doing to you, because once you achieve what you set out to do, pile 2, you will have all the time in the world to show them how wrong they were. And your final advice is, super moon, the emotions are running high. Yes, the Chariot tends to be the card of Cancer. Think of all the Cancerians in your life. They might seem a little bit wishy-washy, too much in their feelings to do anything worthwhile in their life. This again is Venus in Cancer. While you might appear to be loving and naive, your emotions actually run way deeper than anyone anticipates. You are like the super moon. You are the moon goddess in her most powerful form. And the future that you are creating, it's going to change many, many lives for the better. So pile 2, that was your reading, and what a powerful one it was. Best of luck for the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 3. If you chose this picture, then this is your reading. So what kind of future does it appear you are creating? That is your future in others' point of view. The messenger of engines, which is the page of wands. So it looks like you are a firebrand. People think of you as a leader in the making, someone who is extremely spiritual but also extremely passionate towards whatever it is they are heading for. And the triumph, I am awestruck. So people think you are headed for triumph, which is the chariot. You look like an unstoppable force, someone who is going to win in manifesting the future that they wish to, no matter what the obstacles come in their way, because you are willing to just mow them down. Oh, you might be slightly intimidating to others in terms of your future plan, pile 3. And the technomancer, again, this is the magician. So you look like someone who can create whatever their mind perceives. Like this is a picture of a neuron, which is generating the electricity that creates infinity under this man's hands. You know, this reminds me of Deus Ex Machina, like the trope in which whatever the main character needs will appear to them in the right time. Similarly, others think whatever future you wish to create, it just comes to you. You are just that powerful. Okay, what do you think you are creating? The King of Swords, again with the mercurial energy. Look at this. This is magician, and this is the card of Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. Just ruled by Mercury. Hermes, the god of speed and the messenger of gods. You wish to create a just and fair future for which you are willing to work hard as a bee. However, if people think they can play with you, they are going to feel your sting. You are willing to protect your future with your life because you believe in creating the best version of future. Look at this, the Ankh. This is the all-seeing eye of Horus. You are a visionary, pile 3. You have known what you need to create, and this comes off as a little bit tyrannical to other people, but it's not like you care, because the kind of future that you create, it's unimaginable with the kind of resources that we currently have. And the Two of Wands. Okay, this is Sun in Aries, if I'm not mistaken. Look at this. This shamana is crying in the bowl, seeing the kind of future that others might not even think is possible. You think you are creating the kind of future that might seem a little cuckoo to other people, but you have the vision for it because you know it in the depth of your heart that this is possible. This card reminds me of Mulan and her dragon. Like, other people thought she was totally unsuited for the job, but she knew that she could do it, just the way you know that you can establish something brand new. And the Knight of Pentacles. So not only do you have the vision and the mind to back it up, you are willing to put the hard back-breaking work that it takes to manifest what others think you can do. So others do have a valid reason to be intimidated by you. What you fear the most about the future you are creating? The Son of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. So This is the first cup card in your card so far. While you might be an expert in terms of spirituality, in terms of mental faculties, and in terms of hard work, you tend to be a little bit chicken when it comes to the matter of heart, pile 3. Or you are perhaps afraid that you lost the opportunity, or you might never get the opportunity to be a lover, to share your heart, your cup of love with another person. You are very afraid that someone will break your heart and you will never recover and do the work that you think you're supposed to be doing, that you think others expect of you. And the 4 of Swords. This reminds me of the sword of Damocles. You're constantly afraid that everything is going to come crashing down on your head, that you are just at the point of breakdown, that you might be going too fast and too far or too long at the thing that you are supposed to be doing, so much so that you are going to end up a broken person. And Temperance, just playing off of each other. You are afraid that people will break your heart and your trust. You are afraid that everything will come crashing down on your head and it will be no one's fault but yours. You are afraid that you might never heal what that has been broken, that perhaps you are just out of balance and that's how you are always going to be, that if you have to achieve in one part of your life, you have to give up on the other. Let's see, what are your hopes and wishes for the future, pile 3? Justice. Just cards echoing each other. You think you wish to be a fair and just person, and you wish deep within your heart to be that kind of person. Beautiful alignment between thoughts and actions, pile 3. This shows you are willing to do good karma and to accept whatever karma is coming your way, so that justice can be served for the greater good. The King of Cups. So you are afraid of the Knight of Cups because you wish for a King of Cups. You do not want frivolous people in your life. You do not wish for fickle friendships, for flings. You wish for true psychically connected love, something that goes way beyond what is seen on the surface. You wish to create a future in which your love, your cup is overflowing and abundant because you are connected spiritually to above and to the below. And the Empress. So your deepest wish is to create something brand new, something that is loving and nurturing in its own way. While other people tend to think the kind of future you are creating is a little bit of a capitalistic dystopian thing, you actually wish to create a future that is one with nature, that serves everyone fairly, that is led by the heart while protected by the mind. You might be into activism of some sorts, pile 3. Like, that's the first thing that sprang into my mind when I saw the Page of Wands. You might be fighting for the rights of someone who cannot do it themselves, who are perhaps unheard in the great mission that is today's life. But you are willing to fight for them because you are the Empress, the mother of all things. Beautiful. And your final card is, this is the advice from the cards, which is show the world the real you, the full moon in Aquarius. You see, Aquarius is also related to this card and this one, because they are the kind of people who believe in justice and fair play. Likewise, so do you. But you are afraid that if you show the kind of things that you are capable of, other people will just take advantage of you and then leave you out in the cold. Well, I don't think that is true, pile 3, because you are creating the kind of future that is a blessing for anyone who is alive in this time, in this Aquarian age. Just let people be intimidated. They are not going to be able to stop you, because when you put your mind to it, you will achieve it. So that was your reading, and it was truly wonderful. All the best for your future, pile 3, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, pile 4. If you chose this picture, it's your reading. So what do other people think you're creating for your future? The brazen head, which is justice. So you might be in the business of justice, pile 4. Like, you might be in the redistribution of resources from those who have to those who do not have it. Maybe law, maybe charity. Either way, people think you are creating the kind of future that ensures fairness to all. Or just starting off with a bang. And the time machine, which is the wheel of fortune. Oh, they think you are changing the fortunes of very many people, pile 4. Just you appear as such a powerful person to other people, powerful and fair, someone who can turn the wheel of fortune for the good. And the 3 of Leviathans, which is the 3 of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards in this entire deck. Look at this. These 3 soldiers are working together to bring down an enemy tank that is far superior to their own, and it looks like they are successful in it. Likewise, people think you are creating an amazing team that is going to create a masterpiece that is unmatched, something that tells of your fame for a long time to come. Just fighting the good fight. Pile 4. Some people might consider you a bit of a social justice warrior. Well, I do hate the connotation that it currently carries. I think that is a very essential part of the world that we currently live in. Someone to right the many wrongs that are going on. Someone who teaches people not to look at themselves as victims or to know their place and stay there, but to rise above all of it. Let's see what kind of future you think you are creating. The 7 of Wands. Oh, you see yourself as the underdog, pile 4. Maybe you are fighting something that is truly well beyond what other people think you can do, but you are determined, and you know you will last the fight. Like this woman who is capturing this exotic bird against all the opposition. You are willing to grab the victory right out of the nose of your enemies. And the 8 of Wands. Oh, this is the card of Sagittarius, if I am not mistaken. Sagittarius moon, to be precise. You think you are guided by something that is far greater than you, and you are willing to put all that you have to ensure victory in whatever that you are being led to do. And the 3 of Swords. Heartbreak. Pile 4. You are willing to risk your well-being, your heart, the entirety of your happiness to achieve victory for other people. You are not an individualistic person, and it shows to other people. Look at it, 2 3s. You are willing to stab yourself if it means victory to your side. You sound like an idealistic person, pile 4. You know, I hate this cliche, but you sound like you are too pure for this world. Now let's see, what do you fear about this future that you are creating? the Mother of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups. In the positive aspect, she is a loving woman, someone who is willing to empty out her cup so that others' cup might be full. In the negative aspect, she is cunning to the point of cruelty, manipulative, lazy and selfish. You are afraid that you might be the kind of person who appears good but who actually isn't, who's only in it to make sure that their cup is full. Think of a Cancer, but in their worst form, the clingy, cunning, cruel Cancerians. You are afraid you are going to become that kind of person, someone who breaks hearts just for the fun of it. And the Mother of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords, which was just the kind of person I was thinking about when I was talking about the badly aspected Queen of Cups. You are afraid that you are going to turn into a harpy, the kind of person who cuts out everyone for the slightest provocation, who instead of becoming a fair and just ruler is a tyrant, someone who is willing to pull up the ladder after they climb it. And the Ace of Pentacles. Well, that is truly a strange fear. Like, you are afraid that you are in it for the money. I don't know why you fear wealth. It may be because you think wealth must be shared. It must be offered to other people, or it should be used for the greater good. But you do not wish for wealth. In fact, you actively fear it. You think it will turn you into this kind of selfish person, this dark mother archetype. Like, think the beldam in Coraline, the one who only wishes to make Coraline stay because she wants it for her own gain. My, pile 4. I don't think you are that kind of person. After all, you are willing to sacrifice yourself if it means for the greater good. Let's see what are your hopes and dreams about the future that you are creating. The Five of Cups. Okay, in the negative aspect, this is mourning for someone, a dream that was most cherished but never came to fruit. In the positive aspect, this is moving on from heartbreak, from a loss that was so great that changed your life forever. Maybe you were personally affected by an injustice in the society, and that's why you are trying so hard to create a better future for other people. Oh, pile 4. You just wish to move on from that which was lost. The Tower. Okay, you might be a bit of an anarchist, pile 4. You wish to destroy the old parochial structures so that new and better structures could be made in its place. This is pure Mars energy. Not surprising given the amount of activity in your pile. You are willing to act where others stumble and stop, but you are also afraid that you will become a tyrant, which is a good mindset for someone who is working hard to establish liberty. And the Fool, again, just reinforcing this. You want a brand new future, something as pure and beautiful as this white rose rising out of this bloody battlefield that you have been in. You might appear like this serious, forever angry person, pile 4, but you actually wish to create a better future for the children of the world. You wish to create a new beginning and get rid of the things that stood in its way. You wish to overcome the injustice, the losses that you have incurred at the hands of others, and you wish you do not perpetuate the same cycle that victimized you. So, pile 4, you look like an angry victim at the worst case to others, but you are actually a survivor, someone who wishes to create a future that is much better than the one that you were handed. Beautiful. Let's see your last card. This is the advice from the cards to you. Wonderful, wonderful. This is the card of new moon. A new start is coming. So pile 4, sometimes it looks like you are stuck in a fog, but you are in the process of creating something great, something wonderful even. It does get the darkest before it turns light. That's such a heavy mission for any soul to take on. You are such a strong person, pile 4. I wish you the peace and the happiness that you desperately wish to create for other people. That was your reading. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 5. If you chose this picture, then this is your reading. Let's see what kind of future it appears that you are creating. That is your future in others' point of view. The Navigator of Engines, which is the Knight of Wands. So you look like the kind of person who is just creative to the core. Like, people think you are someone who's galloping their way towards success, someone who sets course and then successfully reaches their destination, even if it is the stars. Your next card is the Inventor, which is actually the Hermit. So you might come off as a bit of a outcast, or maybe a hermit to other people who think you are only focused on your goals. Think Edison, that kind of energy, or Tesla. You know, Tesla was a brilliant person, but he did have a mortal fear of human interaction. You give off that kind of energy, though you might actually be a very charming person. And the King of Cups, just the amount of yang energy in this. You are the Knight of Wands, someone who is charming and driven, who can play the crowd like a pipe, but a bit closed off, mysterious, someone who is creating something very great, but who is not willing to share it, who sits alone in his golden mansion and enjoying the fruits of future that he created with his cat, the lonely cat man or cat lady. But someone who is psychic, a little bit dreamy and romantic, emotionally balanced, and loyal towards the person he loves. From knight to king. So people think you are creating the kind of future that starts off brilliant and burning and ends up in a beautiful, heart-filled cup. You come off as a bit of the lonely genius, pile 5. Let's see what kind of future you think you are creating. The Six of Swords. Oh, you just wish to move on from something tumultuous, something that was deeply upsetting to you, towards better times. Maybe you wish to create the kind of future where you will not be the one suffering in the burning boat, suffering along with others towards the better, calmer waters. So you could enjoy the kind of peace and tranquility that you wish to bring upon others. And Ten of Cups. Oh yes, this is communal happiness. You wish to create a future in which peace and happiness is just the default, the kind of happiness that you can share with everyone around you, or at least those who you care about, without having to fear anything. And the Two of Swords. So you think you might need to make many tough decisions to reach this kind of future, You might need to break several hearts to move through the stalemate that is currently in your life. And you are willing to, because at least you look like you're willing to. And you look like you're willing to, because you are the inventor, someone who creates things out of thin air, out of nothing. People think you're creating the kind of future where you can sit on a throne and enjoy the peace and tranquility that you worked so hard for, while you think you are creating the kind of future where you can help people by making the hard decisions, doing the dirty work, the kind of thing that will break generational curses, the trauma that follows people through their bloodline, so that happiness and peace can be achieved for this generation and the next. So what do you fear about the future that you are creating? The Father of Cups, which is the King of Cups. Oh my God, look at this. This is the King of Cups, as is this. So in the light side, people think you are a master of emotions, the kind of leader who is led by their heart, the king who rules not with an iron fist but with a weeping heart. But you fear that perhaps you might be a bit too much of that, because while people look at you and see heart and spirit, you are actually mind and heart. You do not want to be some weepy, wishy-washy, insecure tyrant. You do not wish to be the kind of king who breaks heart just for the sake of it, who makes promises that he knows he's not going to keep. The Emperor. Okay, pile 5. You are afraid that you might become the kind of father who stifles his children, so much so that they never grow out of their home. While other people think of you as the hermit, you fear that the kind of fire that you have in you will one day destroy the world around you. Think Saturn devouring his sons. Maybe you had a tough relationship with father figures, and now you are afraid that you are going to become like them, like the kind of, pardon my language, bastards who trample over everything that is good and kind, because ultimately honor and power reign over everything else. I wonder why you feel so when you think to bring about happiness for your community. You don't make decisions for yourself like other people think. You are actually a heart-centered person who is looking to better things on a larger scale. And the Two of Cups. Okay, this, you are afraid of love. Oh, pile 5, I am so sorry. Whatever happened in your past, it has made you fear love in your future. Well, you think to create happiness and love for other people, you are afraid you will never find the kind of love, the soulmate who will put you above all, who will love you in your best and at your worst. Two twos. You think you are too intellectual, too in your mind to ever find what your heart desires. That maybe you will trample over the heart that was given to you, and you might never have a cup to share with another. Let's see what are your deepest hopes and wishes for your future. The Queen of Pentacles. Pile 5, you just show up as this amazing person, this queen who creates abundance and fertility just by the dint of a smile. Look at her. Everywhere she goes, she is creating fertility, wealth, peace and abundance. She is the mother archetype, the equivalent of the Empress in the minor arcana, the most mothering of the queens and the kindest. Such a loving and giving energy that you wish to be. The Five of Swords. So, you wish to create a future in which bullies are not tolerated, pile 5. In the negative aspect, this is the kind of person who bullies others. In the positive aspect, this is overcoming what was oppressive, what prevented happiness for the greater good. And you wish to overcome this. Perhaps you were treated unfairly in your past, pile 5, and that is why, instead of becoming a bitter and withdrawn person, you wish to better the life of other people, to have enough money that it never hurts to give a little bit extra to others, because there is always going to be someone who needs it more, don't they? And the Knight of Wands. So what you wish for and what other people see in you is aligned. The Knight of Wands, others think of you as this charismatic, driven and willful person who is one day going to become the King of Wands, the natural born leader, the lion. People look at you as this crusader who is highly motivated and who is one day going to be victorious, and you wish to be that kind of person. You wish to be the Knight of Wands, the flamethrower, the torch bearer, someone who lights the way towards a better future, but someone who is afraid they will become a tyrant once the future is established. Let's see your final card, your advice for your future. The new moon eclipse, just fitting in very well with your theme. This is a kind of active eclipse. You know, it is kind of redundant to think of one eclipse to be better than other, but astrologically speaking, a new moon eclipse, which is a solar eclipse, is quite powerful compared to a full moon eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is softened by the power of moon, while the solar eclipse is just pure yang energy, just spurring people to action towards great things. In some cultures, they used to kill the king in order to appease the sun so that it reappears after the eclipse. It appears you are willing to kill the emperor, the tyrant within you, pile 5, so that greater good can be achieved in the future. But the cards are telling me that you are going to be a fair king, a queen, even if you manage to create the kind of wealth and happiness that you wish to do. You don't need to fear that your heart will be broken because you trampled on one too many, because you are doing it for the sake of greater good. You are withdrawing of your own will so that no one else needs to. Pile 5, you sound like such a heart-centered person, such beautiful energy. Okay, that was your reading. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 6. If you chose this picture, then this is your reading. Let's see what kind of future it appears that you're creating, that is your future in others' point of view. The 5 of Pentacles or the 5 of Leviathans. So other people think that you are headed towards a period of great calamity, pile 6. Like you are throwing away the wealth that was granted to you, like you are wasting the resources that you were given that might have been useful to another person. Why do they think that? The 5 of airships. Okay, so people think you are creating the kind of unequal future where bullies are respected more, or perhaps they see you as a kind of bully, someone who's pushing their way into things they shouldn't be. And the stricken tower. My God. So people think you are a destructive force, pile 6. You know, someone who is destroying what already works, a system that is not broken, or at least according to them, that you are breaking in the process of fixing. Okay, this are 2 5s which are signifiers of great change. So, in history, no one has accepted change of any form. You seem to have quite the daunting task of being the canary in the coal mine pile 6, someone who is making a change in the future that is not very well received by the people around them. Like the Greek prophetess Cassandra, you are trying to change the future for the best, but other people don't see it that way. They think you're wasting your potential, your resources, your luck on something that is at the best unwanted and at the worst disastrous. Let's see what you think you're creating in the future. The Queen of Swords. Okay, you think you have been taken off advantage for long enough. Now it makes some kind of sense. You might be drawing boundaries where there were none before, and it makes other people see you as, excuse my language, a bitch. You know, the Queen of Swords usually gets the worst rap of all queens because she's seen as almost too masculine. Though I don't think being assertive and having boundaries is a masculine thing. She is a woman, a creatrix, and she holds the sword of destruction and power in her hand, and that makes her all the more frightening to other people. No wonder they oppose her. The Nine of Cups. Okay, you are creating happiness for yourself. You are seeking and finding self-fulfillment. This is a wish come true card, pile 6. Perhaps you were the money bank and the nerdy sidekick for too long. Now that you are shaking up the hierarchy, now that you are becoming the queen of your own mind and creating the kind of future that you wish to have, people are seeing you as the bully, as the antichrist even, for just wishing for happiness for yourself. And the Ace of Swords. So you think you are bringing the truth to those who have been asleep for a long time. No wonder people don't like you. You are the sword that cuts through the clouds of confusion, the smoke and the mirrors, to bring the light down upon earth, to show them the kind of squalid conditions that they were actually living in, to show them the unfairness that they were willing to put up with, to bring down the kingdoms that were built upon other people's work. You think you're creating a future where good things can come to bloom, but only if the weeds are cut down. Okay, what do you fear the most about the future that you are creating? The Father of Pentacles. This guy, the King of Pentacles, is the main root of the community that he is in. Think Hierophant. He is the religious head, the teacher who stands above all, the holy cow. You are afraid that once you make these changes, you are going to end up like this guy, the greedy businessman who holds wealth above happiness and truth, who is complacent, who is willing to look the other way about the tower as long as he has the penthouse suite. And the Son of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords. Okay, you are afraid that instead of being the just and fair ruler that the Queen of Swords is, you are going to end up like the Knight of Swords, the man with no moral compass, so to speak of, the mercenary, the one who is willing to use his sharp mind and terrifying wit in the service of anyone who is willing to pay the coin. Think Loki, but in the worst way possible, or James Moriarty, the kind who will set fire to the world just so he can feel warm. And the Hanged Man. You think all that you have sacrificed in the name of goodness and truth will go to vain, pile 6. Like the hanged man is Odin, who suspended himself by his ankle from the tree of life for 9 days, just so he could gain his wisdom. Like the father of gods, you are willing to suspend yourself from the dangerous precipice if it means that you can finally bring fairness, fulfillment, truth and victory to that cause that you believe in, to create the kind of future in which happiness is guaranteed. But what if you have not sacrificed enough? What if all your sacrifices are in vain? So let's see, what are your deepest hopes, your greatest wishes for your future, pile 6. The 8 of rods. This is just good news that travels fast. You wish to do great things, good things, and you wish to do them quickly so that you don't miss the time frame and end up wasting the potential that others think you do. The 6 of rods. Yes, again a card of victory. You think you want to win and you wish to win so desperately, so that all that you broke on this journey, all that you gave up, everything that you sacrificed yields a good fruit, gives you the wish that you nurtured so long. And the Knight of Pentacles. So you don't wish to become the King of Pentacles, the complacent guy who's just sitting on his throne, the supervisor who's happy to gain money while others toil. No, you wish to be the farmer himself, the knight who carries the work far and wide, who plants his own field and who is willing to reap them, however long it takes. Pile 6. It seems the kind of future that you are creating is going to be great, but you face very stiff opposition in your environment, and you are ready to get rid of the opposition. However, you are afraid that you might become the bad guy in the pursuit of your happiness. Okay, this last card is advice from the cards to you. Fix and hold your vision. Okay, I cannot have said this any better, pile 6. The fixed moon is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius, if I'm correct. This is staying energy. This is king energy. Someone who's willing to outlast all that is thrown at them so that their vision is achieved. So your vision for future is brilliant, something that is amazing, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to bring it about. However, the path is not going to be easy, pile 6. Wishing you all the strength and power you need to bring about the victory that you so rightfully deserve. That was your reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.